everybody? Back, Understand the Hustle podcast. Got my boy Devin, my boy Mark. I'm Ollie, of course, as y'all know. And we're going to talk about something that might be a touchy subject for people because everybody want to talk about their educated and everything. And they got these degrees and all that. But what does that even really mean? Like, is it worth it? Did it work out? You know, all of us got degrees. So we just really going to break down and we're going to discuss, is college even worth it? And you know, I'll let these guys break it down because I'm gonna go on a rant, and I'm gonna just let y'all know I'm gonna be that rant guy every episode. So I'm gonna let my boys break this down first before I go slide in and give my thoughts and my hot takes.
Here's my first question to it. To y'all, you know, I've seen y'all, you know, we all went to school together. We've done things, we've understood things in different ways. My first question is, what did college mean to y'all when y'all before y'all even got to college, when y'all were from in high school, thinking about, hell, what's my next step? What were y'all's thoughts about college?
See, me personally, so college was kind of like the next step, not so much for education, but because of sports. So mentally, it always felt like, okay, you play junior high football, you play high school football, then of course you play college football. So to be honest, the whole journey and even the college space was never the education, was never thinking about what salary or what I want to do in my life. It was mainly, hey, where am I going to go to play sports and just go from there. I mean, 100%.
Man, let me keep this a buck. You know, everybody think they got a plan when they're young. Man, I got to college, I ain't know shit about shit. I'm going to just keep it real. I was there for football. I was there to play ball. You know, you young, you growing up, you thinking, hey, you know, I used to be young, like, oh, I'm gonna do this when I get older. I'm gonna have a little business. I'm gonna do this, do that. You don't be taking no actionable steps because hell, especially in the black community, we ain't taught. Most of us ain't taught to live that type of life. We ain't taught to, you know, our parents would be like, hey, go to school, get a degree, and that's as far as it go. Or play sports and go make it in the league or something, get that meal ticket. But if we just being real. College, I like college for the fact that it was good for networking, but my whole point of going, it was sports. You try to figure out your life after you get there, man. And you realize if you ain't had no freedom going into that, and you start getting exposed to that type of freedom, you go crazy, kind of like I did my first couple years. And hell, you might settle down and make it work, or you might flunk out. Yeah, hell, I started off strong, tapered off, switched majors. I done been through every aspect you could think of. Hell, I started off engineering, branched over to business because I didn't want to do engineering coupled with football. That was too fucking much. Hell, I ain't got time to be bringing no books on no bus. I ain't doing
The
all
funny
that.
thing is, I think it's to the point that we all started in engineering because I believe me and Devin, we actually had class together doing engineering first of all, and then went straight to business.
No, you can't do it. Man, look, all power to anybody that was out there doing engineering and football at the same time, bro. But nah, that definitely wasn't it for me. And whoever that is for, good luck to you. Because I'm not bringing. I remember I used to watch one of my boys, Sam Boothby. If you ever listen to this, shout out to you. Because ain't no way I was about to be bringing no whole shitload of books on no bus. Talk about, I got to do some homework. No. I'm not doing that. I'm trying to chill. Hell, nah, ain't no way. So, I mean, yeah, I guess we all did kind of start off in that room. I mean, these guys got 2 years on me. So, you know, I'm just a little young pup trying to figure it out still. Yeah. But college, I mean, it was a cool experience. Do I think? I mean, we're just gonna get into this. Let's break this down. Why everybody first off think that college is such a big deal and everybody need to go to college. This shit. You know, some people I talk to, old heads, they'll be like, oh, you know, back in the day, that was the push, you know, the HBCUs where you got the Cosby Show, you got And Live in Color and all that. And everything was around the dynamic of going to college, but don't nobody ever let you know when you get out of college. For one, if you ain't got no scholarship, or if you got a little partial scholarship like I did, you're going to end up in debt. 2, debt. 3, debt. Man, we just going to say debt. That's the problem right there. So now what's happening is you're getting into this little hamster wheel rabbit hole effect that don't nobody tell you about because for one, you think your parents got you covered, but I mean, if you Devin, you might be lucky enough to have that. But if you me, you stuck ass out. And you gonna have to figure it out when you get out on your own. So you can defer, forbearance, whatever have you, whatever's good for you, whatever make it work. Or you can pay that shit and be silly. I mean, I ain't gonna say be silly because hey, all debt ain't necessarily good, and this is good debt and bad debt, whatever. I mean, this may be good debt because I got a degree, I got a good job 4-5 years later. But at the same time, it just made me wonder, was it other options? Because nobody ever talk about the other options. All they want to do is talk about, it's just sports. And I mean, damn, just because I'm black and I'm big, don't mean I got to do sports or I got to do sports. Like, it ain't really no emphasis on no degree. Like, yeah, they'll say get a degree maybe, but in the back of their mind, when you get that degree, everybody like, oh, okay. I mean, they all shocked. Same thing when you walk into an interview, you done finally did all this, you done got that degree, you go walk into an interview and you be hitting them like, oh, hey, I'm Ollie Brady, da-da-da-da-da. I got this degree, I got my bachelor's, I got my MBA. Motherfuckers looking at you shocked and shit like, this black man has an MBA? Da-da-da. And then they looking at you crazy. Now you uncomfortable. Now you're in an uncomfortable situation for one because you ain't around no people that look like you. We gonna keep it a buck. Two, they done already kind of wrote you off and you probably just a quota for them. You probably just meeting the mark. We're going to keep it all the way real. You probably just a little mark and a little column for diversity. Let's just keep it real. And I mean, if it is, cool. I'll play my role and I'll wear it well and I'll get the check. And I'll use that on the side and get the bag. But back to the dynamic of college, it's played out now because for real, we're talking about, we're going to keep it real. I don't know what these guys' opinion is, but I'm about to go rant. A bachelor's degree ain't nothing but a fucking high school goddamn diploma at this point. Because it don't mean nothing. Don't get me wrong. If you want to go to college for something technical, if you want to go to get a degree in nursing or go into the medical field, maybe engineering, computer science, but we ain't going to say nothing with computers because, hell, I know plenty. I got name a list of people that done got they done got into the computer space, IT, all that stuff. They ain't got no degree. They just went out, take it to YouTube University, or they just went and just learned. So, at the end of the day, I don't think college is worth it for majority of stuff, especially for us three. We talk about 3 business majors. You learn business by doing, dog. Like, that's one thing I can say from being, I'd have bounced around. I'd have been in different manager positions. What I do ain't none of y'all business. But I've seen that, hell, you just learn by doing. This ain't nothing that you can be taught, and that's all school do is teach you how to be an employee. So you want to shift your mindset, which is what most of us that's going to tune into this want to do, and what us 3 want to do. We're not trying to be working for somebody forever. That ain't the goal. That's played out. If you want to go be free, you don't need college to learn that. Hell, if you go look at every goddamn CEO out there, just go look at all the type of people like Steve Jobs and all of them. Dropouts. I know y'all love to be like, ooh, you gonna be the next Steve Jobs. That motherfucker ain't go to college. He ain't got no degree. He just creative, had a vision, and went to put that into action. That's the end of the day. That's what it is. It's about college good for networking, but they don't teach you how to go take no action. They teach you how to get in that rat race. And now I don't mess with that. So I'll let these guys talk about their vision and their opinion of college. But personally, I see the benefits, but I ain't with it at all.
Well, see, Ollie, so I got a few things, but I got a question on one thing. So,
yeah, man. Do
you think people go to college because you're kind of brainwashed to think a teacher is someone you can trust, compared to, because I'm big in the online space, so there's a lot of folks out there trying to teach the dream. So, do you think people go to college because it's like the safe option? A lot of people have done it and succeeded, whatever that means. Or, I mean, what do you kind of think with that?
Man, look, you're talking about, I'm going to put it like this. I could go back. I know everything is hindsight is 2020. Let me tell you something. I go back, I don't know how long it's been since I've been in school. Shit, now I think about it. It's been a minute. About 5, I don't know. Let me take my timeline back, 10 years ago, getting out of high school. If I go back and somebody tell me I could teach you the skill to learn how to, since I'm big into stocks, if I could teach you how to do day trading for stocks and make you really sit you down for 2-3 years and really teach you that skill, for one, that's a skill. That ain't nothing, because also you have to understand, when you get a degree, it's one thing to be educated and have the piece of paper that quote unquote says you're educated, but it's another thing to be intelligent and be able to apply certain things that you learn and be able to comprehend that and like, apply it. So that's one thing. Everybody loves saying, "Oh, I'm educated," especially black people. We love saying I'm black and educated. But what does that even really mean, bro? Like, okay, you can spit out a couple facts. Let me tell you something. I'm educated when I get out of high school. They taught me the Pythagorean theorem when I got out of high school, but I couldn't tell you what that shit. What is it? What is it? I don't even know. I can care less. It don't apply to me. That's what I'm saying. Like half this stuff we learn, and we just take it back further. We take it back to like high school, middle school. Half the stuff we learn we ain't never gonna use again. That's what they want to tell you. They want to tell you, oh, you need to be a well-rounded citizen. Da 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 da. Then you go into college. They want you to take 2 years of basics. What I need to learn 2 years of basics for? Like I done did English all my life. At this point, if I can't articulate myself, it's just because I ain't trying hard enough. Like at the end of the day, I don't care. Like there's a bunch of people out there successful that can't truly. They don't talk the greatest English, but hey, they can get by. What am I learning? I get it. History is important, but half the stuff we learn in history, I done learned it 5 times by the time I got to college. And they done me in college, I got to learn it again. Like, bro, at this point, I don't care no more. So now you just waste. Again, this goes back to debt. Now it's just, let's talk about the business of college at this point. Because that's all college is, bro. Like, this is a business, and they're just trying to take your money. Because guess what? Y'all want to know the craziest part about all of this? Student loan debt it never leaves. I could go file bankruptcy, and I can get rid of every piece of debt I got. But guess what? You know what's still going to be sitting there? That student loan debt. You ain't never escaping that, bro. Unless you luck up and LeBron want to come pay everybody's debt from X school or whatever, you ain't getting away from that. So I think that's messed up that people got to deal with that, bro. There's no way you should have to be subjected, especially if you're coming out of the black community. You ain't coming out of the best situation. I mean, I ain't, like I say, I don't know everybody's situation, whoever tuned into this, but you got options. They got trade schools, man. I'll tell you this. A lot of people laugh people, but half the people that went into the oil field after they popped out making 6 figures. You know what it would have been like to get 6 figures fresh out of college at 18? Yeah, I probably would have done some stupid shit at first. But guess what? A couple years in, I would have figured it out, and I would have started putting that money into something that could have made me money. You want to go be a plumber. You want to go be a sanitation, trash man. These are jobs that, yeah, we laugh at them, but they always need it. They make bread. And we're talking about, what, a year apprenticeship maybe versus, and no debt, and you're getting paid versus going to college, you paying them 2 of them years, you ain't going to be learning nothing about what you really think you want to do. Let's get in that. Half of us that go to college don't even know what we want to do, bro. We don't know what the hell we want to major in. We think we know we want to major in because we don't look online and say, "Oh, this make a shitload of money." But does it interest you? And I mean, don't get me wrong. That's definitely something to think about. Because a lot of people going to college also on the other end of what I was saying. They think, "Oh, I love art. I love this." And I ain't hating on none of the artists out there. You know, kudos to y'all. If you're out there getting it, respect to you. But most people, art ain't going to get you no bag to go pay bills. You want to learn all this random stuff. It just don't pay bills. At the end of the day, that's one thing. When you get out into life don't give a fuck. It's going to hit you. The bills going to come on the first, and you either going to figure out how to pay them, or you going to be out on the street. So tie this back in. There's other options. Like I mentioned, if I'd have been able to learn a skill like trading, guess what? They can't take that skill away from you. You can get fired from your job, but you can't never lose a skill that you know. So it goes to that whole teach a man to fish versus giving a man a fish. Like, yeah, that paper may be good and all. And don't get me wrong, some degrees you learn skills that you could take and do stuff forever. But a lot of times you just learn concepts. And it just trains your way of thinking. And it ain't really about giving you a true skill that you can monetize and that's valuable and that you can do something with. So that's my little rant. I'll let y'all touch on it. I don't want to take up all this talking.
I think my biggest thing, just thinking about the whole situation, because when you're thinking about kids coming out of high school, you know, especially, you know, with sports, they thinking nothing, hey, you know what, it's cool, hey, I'm going to college to play ball or whatever like that. They're not thinking about, okay, you know what, I need to start figuring out how to have a family, you know, start thinking about the future and whatnot. They say, you know, hey, we're still in the age trying to have fun and all in. You know, and that's that biggest thing, which, you know, you have your differences. Hey, you know what? Should I go to college? Should I not? Some people really go to college to really, hey, you know what? Let me go ahead and enjoy my damn time, you know, live my life. But then all of a sudden, hey, at the end of my sophomore year, getting into my junior year, now I'm honing in to figure out, hey, what the hell do I really got to do with my damn shit? Because you know what? Time's ticking. You know, the clock's about to end. You know, the fun's about to end. You know what I'm saying? Because people who just go into the life, you know, they could learn the trade, learn how to do things, but in all reality, they may not even be ready for it because you know what? They still in that child's mentality. And then as men, you know, black men, I've seen where we're so hyped up on the enjoyment of life, you know, having fun, you know, having females around this and that or whatever, but not really focused on the goal compared to, you know what, hey, let me go ahead and chill out, be at the house. Let me think about what I really need to do for my future so I can try to really figure it out. Because at the end of the day, the real group of people that I've actually seen to do it outside of men and women is truly women, because women, you know, as what they say, hey, they mature faster than us. They understand things at a different rate than we do, and it's to the point that they put things into an effect. And you know, talking to you a lot of times, Ali, you know, you've seen that in all reality because of, you know, all the energy and all the advice and all the conversations you have, because it is what it is. You know, women tend to want to take that initial step compared to us men, because we prefer, hey, you know what, let's try to, you know, have fun. Let's go ahead and try to play sports, not really seeing the math to it and the statistic to it that, hey, you know what, even though we come to play football in high school or college, you know, basketball, whatever, there's only so many of us that actually make it to the next level to actually make that million, you know, to be the next DeAndre Hopkins or, Deshaun Watson, you know, any of those type guys that, you know, that make that check just by playing something that they truly love. And, you know, and of course, the biggest thing is trying to find the passion. You know, do you find it in college? Some people do. Do you find it outside of college if you just, you know, at your mom's house, you know, something like that, just trying to figure out what you're trying to do? Yeah, some people do, but some people kind of lose out on honing in on what, you know, what they actually need to do outside of their mother telling them, hey, you know what, you just need a job. You know, college is a getaway. College has always been a getaway for people to, you know, get away from the home because of the fact that they might not be in tune to the controlled life that they have back at home compared to, you know, going away from school about two or 3 or 4 hours away, or, you know, what say you. And it's just, you know, the biggest thing is in this realm that we're going in regards of, hey, do you want to go to college, or do you want to, or should you do something outside of college? I feel that it's all about having an understanding of what you really want in life when you want to take that initial step. You know, but the biggest thing that's kind of hard for us, just as kids coming from high school to making that decision, is that we're not really taught to try to figure out any other things outside of, hey, you know what, you got to go to college. Because as you said, hey, you know, the Cosby Show, you know, watching all those old time, you know, trying to push us, college is this, college is that. But we don't even see the business behind it because of the fact that we're not thinking. We're only thinking, okay, hey, I'm just going to school and that's just what it is. And I'm going to go get this job after school. And then, hey, you know what? I'm going to be making this money and I'm going to live my life. Thing is, I don't know about y'all. I'm not. It's not always comfortable trying to be the middle class person because of the fact that you feel that when it comes to politics and just how life is continuously going, things tend to change for that middle class so much that it affects us in some type of a negative way, in a mental way, because of the fact that you see how it goes. There's declines going on in how people want to, you know, treat jobs, or people losing jobs, and how they want to approach day to day on, you know, to their 9 to 5. Because in all reality, nobody wants to do a 9 to 5. Everybody wants to be at their home, chilling, doing, relaxing, doing what they want to do, you know, and, you know, trying to figure out what's going to be that next thing to go ahead and make them some true money. In all reality, it's really your niche on that. Hey, if college works for you, it works for you. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You know, but really, how can you really balance out the two in regards of those who still pretty much not in the mental capacity to be able to be an adult, to take the opportunity off to say, hey, you know what, I'm gonna go with a trade, compared to those who go to college to kind of get pretty much held, their hand held until they get to a point where, hey, you know what, it's that time to really start trying to grow. And, of course, each decision has a repercussion. Hey, you know what, you start your trade, you might get fired a couple jobs because, you're just really not in tune into it. Or college, hey, you start doing, dumb things, stupid things, to the point that you really don't see the vision until all of a sudden now it's too late. And it's that balance, and that checks and balances I'm always seeing when it comes to the idea. Because in all reality, you see people who go to the military, they go to the military, guess what? They doing something, they're protecting the United States, and starting to get a lot more focused about, certain perspectives in their life, personal things in their life, because of the fact of what's being taught to them. But in our reality, when we're trying to take that step as just kids trying to, hey, let's get a trade, really don't understand. Because I see it every day. I talk to my little brothers and stuff like that have, gone from high school and just like, okay, well, what the hell am I supposed to do? And I'm like, look, depends on what you want to do. You want to make money, you by all means go ahead and make money, but you got to be the smart person to understand that, hey, if you're going to take this route, but then put your heart into it, because of the fact that this has got to be a passion for you to really actually want this to be able to help you out in your life and your future. Hey, if you want to go to school, be dumb, be a kid, by all means go to school, be dumb, but understand that there's going to be a point in time in your life that you're going to be in school, sitting there in front of your professor. You're going to be like, well, damn, time is running out. I got to do something, because you can only prolong this for so long. It's kind of like with student loans. You can continue to keep pushing it off for a whole year, but at the end of the day, sooner or later, it's going to catch back up where you got to go ahead and pay back to it. It is what it is. And that's just the mindset that just kind of runs and is back and forth. And I guess with this conversation, it's always a crazy game, because the thing is, it's ups and downs on both perspectives on what we can really do and what, we should do or what we want to do, depending on who you are personally and how you tend to take on life, and that's really my idea on it, on that situation.
Yeah. And then to kind of bring this all around, so like one thing that both Ali and Mark were kind of touching on is kind of like with that high school mentality when you're going to college. I know when I was going to college, I don't think I was in a position where I would want to have gotten a trade. Like I couldn't imagine me as a senior wanting to learn how to do welding to make six figures, because in high school as a senior, I never really had any bills. So without needing money to actually pay to live, I couldn't see myself pushing myself to learn welding or HVAC or plumbing or whatever it may be, so I could have like a life skill. So I think that is a big thing, is just a lot of folks in high school. And what it might be is also Black families, because I know where I'm working now, I see a lot of these CEOs and high level individuals. And when they bring their kids in and they're spending 20, 30,000 at this place, pretty much this kid's learning that's kind of the way of life. They understand, okay, my dad's doing this because he owns a construction company. He knows how to operate excavators. He knows how to do this. He knows how to do that. So at a young age, these kids know how to do welding in junior high. So this whole thing we're doing now with generational wealth, just think our kids, like Mark, your kid, when you're bringing them up, if you get into real estate now, your kid in junior high will know how to flip a house. In junior high, I was playing Pokemon and stuff. So, it's going to be a whole different mindset just from the very beginning. So, that's kind of why I think a lot of us, especially when we all said the reason we went to college was to play football, is because of the way all three of us were brought up. That was kind of go to college, get a degree, and that's the finish line. That is 100% it right there. So, just hearing from you guys, this is things that have been in my head, and I just never thought everyone else thought like this. So it's interesting because as we the reason for this podcast is to show people the way of doing things. And I mean, that's what's exciting about it is as we learn, as we start progressing, then our generation, that generational wealth, so our kids, our grandkids, everyone else, they all start getting that same mentality. And now all of a sudden, fifth graders watching their brother doing welding or something. Now in junior high, they're doing welding. In high school, they own a welding company. So then in college, they're like, you know what? I don't need to go to college. I'm already making $180 a year. I'm already doing it. So I'll just wait for these college graduates to graduate so I can hire them, pay them $60,000, and then now I'm making $1 million. So, I think that's kind of what we're all trying to do here. So, hey, everything sounds good so far.
I'm about to go in. All right. So this is what I'm going to break down. Because I was thinking where everybody was talking, right? All right. So we're going to break it down like this. It's a chain of this, right? Everybody mentioned the same thing or what they thought when they was coming into college. So this shit starts just like Devin and everybody else was mentioning, Devin or Mark. It starts with upbringing, right? So let's take it like this. If you don't know what you don't know, that's a saying I really like to always let people know because you don't know what you don't know. Like if somebody came up to you and started giving you some type of knowledge, you would have never known that you didn't know it until somebody puts that on you. So when you coming up, it's on the parent, right? And don't get me wrong, it's a different dynamic nowadays because things have changed and, we smarter than, and we had a lot more going than probably our parents did. Most of us, some of us, whatever. So it starts with upbringing, right? With your parents, like you say, you got people coming in the shop where you work at, dropping 20, 30 bands, but they understand how to make money and they're going to instill that in their kid. Most of us come from backgrounds. I ain't speaking for everybody. I don't know. But me, I'm coming from a background. I ain't had nobody that was just bringing in bread like that. I come from a single parent household. I was raised with my grandma. I ain't moving in with my mom since I was in high school. So hell, my grandma don't really know much about nothing going on when it comes to no business knowledge or nothing. It's just go to school, get some good grades. That's all they know because that's all they taught. And that's just how their mind is wired. They don't know about, business knowledge. They don't know about how to make money. They don't know about skills that's like monetary outside of that. They so used to watching, the Cosby Show or whatever, and they see that and they're like, ooh, look at that. Like, it's crazy. But when you have an upbringing, which is good because nowadays more people taking action, and we got to do way better in the Black community, I will say that, but we working on it. But when you have that upbringing where you instilling your kid, like, give them options. It ain't even about forcing them to do nothing, but you giving them options so that they're not just forced to take one path. And then on top of that, you not only force them to take one path, they force to take one path and they don't even have no logic on that because you don't know nothing about it because you ain't did it. So now you're going to tell your kid, hey, go do this in life. And then they're going to be, of course, the famous thing from kids is why. You don't even know why. You just saying it because it's just something that sounds good. Let's just keep it all the way real. Let's just keep it a buck. Now we branch off. And you raise your kids right. And everybody got their own way they're going to raise their kids. But at the end of the day, the common theme behind when you raise your kids should be to instill in them some type of knowledge. And like I said, everybody ain't a businessman. Don't get me wrong. Everybody, that's not for everybody. But it's about when you get older, it's better, I'll say this, it's better not to be boxed in. It's better to have options. Because one thing somebody can take away from you is what you know. And like I said earlier, a job can fire you, but you can't take away somebody's skill. So if you start embedding skills in your kid earlier, also think about this. A kid, it's going to be way easier to build this type of habitual lifestyle because they don't have no knowledge of nothing else. They don't know nothing else. So now guess what? All they know is what you've been showing them, and you've been showing them, let's say, you've been showing them the right thing day after day after day. So now guess what? That builds a habit. And guess what? After that habit is built, you know what happens after that? A routine gets in place. That routine turns into their lifestyle. So yeah, guess what? If you want to ingrain something in somebody, the perfect time is now. When you have a kid, I ain't got no kids yet. But for Mark and Devin, they lucky in this aspect because their kids young. They got fresh kids. Like they can literally ingrain and hardwire them for success. And don't get me wrong, success is whatever success is to you. But I'm just saying most times we're gonna attach success to, monetary, just whatever have you, whatever. monetary, health, wealth, spiritual, all that. So when they get into high school, now you have a foundation. It's just like houses. We know how houses work. You ain't gonna build no house on no dirt. You're gonna build it on a foundation. So now when you have this foundation, at least they have options to understand things going on around them, and they don't have to just go jump into like what I did, being ignorant, stupid, hanging out with my friends, not really caring about what was going on, doing ball, and that was it. You didn't really care about school. I mean, yeah, you might have been smart or whatever, because he might be smart. I was smart, but hell, I didn't care about no school. Like if I could cheat off somebody, cool. That's what I'm doing. Like it's just you work smarter, not harder. But you don't know what you want to do when you get out. And that's what it goes to. If you don't know, like if you ain't been taught nothing, and then on top of that, you see your parents who ain't really doing, I'm not gonna say they ain't doing nothing because they getting it how they live. They doing what they gotta do to make things happen. But they don't have an understanding of how to tell you anything or teach you anything because they don't know. So one thing in a very quick aspect of it, we have a very unique situation right now. Internet is around for us for one. So you got access to information that you can learn on your own. You don't even need nobody to help you out. You don't need nobody to teach you. You can go hop on Google or YouTube and learn. Then guess what that does? That allows you to be knowledgeable. You now know what you did not know. And you can pay it forward and help your kid. And now guess what? Your kid is young. The thing that they have is something that you'll never be able to get back is their time. So when you start looking at, they have their time. So let's start earlier for them. That's the goal, ain't it? The goal is for your kids to start off better than you started off. But guess what? Nobody thinks about, that starts with me. So I'm going to tie this back in. Because now we're looking at what makes the world go around. I don't care what nobody say. Money can't buy you happiness, but guess what? It helps. I promise you that. Go find a broke person. Hey, they may be, sure, they'll front like they have, but I'll tell you one thing, tell them they can get an extra meal or something like that on their table, and they'll be a lot happier. I promise you that. So I hate when people say money can't buy you happiness or money is the root of all evil. No, the love of money is the root of all evil. So I don't want to hear that. But again, let's break this over to college. It's about opportunity costs. And this is where we go into, what's good debt, what's bad debt, whatever. Because, that's the whole name of the game for the general public of going to college. You're going to get put into debt. So now, guess what? We ran through this scenario. You have the parent that's raised you right. You have the parent that's, we ain't gonna say raised you right. You have the parent that instilled in you some skills. You may not have liked it when you was younger, but guess what? Now you're older, and now you're starting to understand because it's starting to click. And I'll say this because I speak from experience of not having that, but realizing when I got older and learning that, damn, I wish somebody would have told me this. I wish somebody would have put me on game and I didn't have to go out here and read all these books and learn all of this on my own and figure it out on my own. And it's not just, in my face all the time. So guess what? When you have options, and it ain't got to be no trade or nothing like that. You could have learned a skill. Like I say, I know people out here doing trading in stocks, making 4 figures a day, 3 figures a day. You might say, that ain't nothing. But guess what? You go to a 9 to 5, you probably going to get $200 a day. That's if you're lucky. So at the end of the day, the money comes in, it gives you options. So now you have multiple ways that you can make this money, right? Because that's what you're going to college for. You're either going to play ball, but guess what? You're playing ball to make money. Because once you get into college, newsflash, people, when you get into college and you're playing a sport, I don't give a fuck how much you love that sport. They are going to suck the love out of the game because college is a business on all facets. School, education, sports is all a business. I don't care if you D1, D2, D3, NAIA, whatever, community college. I don't care. It's a business. So now it goes back to the opportunity cost. We got Joe Blow, who his parents taught him skills, instilled in him, hey, you have the options. If you want to go start a company, you have that option because you know how. We might have just instilled in you real estate is good for you. And we might have shown you the benefits of real estate instead of showing you the disadvantages of just having real estate as a liability. You also know XYZ skills. You also understand that you have a trade because your dad might have done a trade or your uncle might have done a trade. So you learn that coming up over the summers in high school. Now let's pay it forward. Now you got college. You got the girls. You got the sports if you like that. Education, cool, too. I'll give you that because you can learn some things in college. I'm not going to just not college. You have the education. You got all the free time in the world to do ignorant stuff, go party, live your life, have fun, get that out your system. I did. I can't knock nobody if that's what they want to do. But again, it goes back to that thing of options. Because at the end of the day, it's about opportunity costs. When you go into college, for us, which seems to be the general consensus. Most of us didn't know any other option. So now it's kind of just like, I really don't have no choice. I either got to do this, or I'm probably going to, especially the black man, I'm probably going to get the fuck up out of my mama's house. I'm not going to be wasting bills. That's just what it is. So that's just my take on it. When you have options, it just gives you a chance to evaluate the opportunity cost. If you don't know what the opportunity cost is, it's just one of those things about, let's say I go to school, I'm going to get into $5,000 in debt. We'll just say $5,000. Keep it simple math. I'll go into $5,000 in debt to get a degree, but that degree is going to yield me, which I'm in turn, after I get that degree, I'm $5,000 in the hole coming out. So you're already in the negative. So guess what? Was it worth your time? Well, yeah, if you got a job that you're coming out making $75,000, well, guess what? That makes all the sense in the world. I'm gonna go in, get $5,000 in the hole, come out, I'm 70 grand positive. That makes sense. But if you're gonna go in with no clue of what's going on, but hey, hold on, you also have the options. You could have went in, you may have done welding, you may have, real estate gain. That's 6 figures if you do it right. You may have been exposed to different opportunities with business because you were just a hustler as a kid, and you was like me, you was out there selling candy at your backpack, and then you tried to scale that. Whatever, it's fine. You know that's an option. So now you can weigh those options. When you stuck like us, it's just like, oh damn, I might be going to get 50 grand in the hole. I don't really know what I'm gonna do in life. I'm gonna just go to college because I want to play ball. I'll figure it out when I get out. Now guess what? Now you're stuck. You're 50 grand in the hole. You don't know what you want to do. I mean, you might have went to school and said, hey, I want to do this or whatever. And don't be that person that just goes to school to be no career student. Please don't do that. You're going to go to college, have a fucking plan. I can't stand people like, I don't know. And I get it. Again, it ain't our fault. They need to really help you more in high school. We're just going to keep it a buck. Because they don't tell you nothing in high school. It's just like, whoo, aha. So whatever. But it's just a whole natural fact of that.
I guess the biggest thing in my question is, so, with us, hey, we went to college. There's things that I wish I would have understood before I got to college to now. But I guess just to plant the question, if, hey, you got those kids that are looking towards college, can you give some understanding to them in regards of choosing a degree plan that's you're actually learning a skill compared to just a theory, so something you can read into a book or anything in that matter? I guess to kind of shine some light on that.
Cool. So we talking you want to take that, Devin?
Oh, I mean, I was just going to say, let's just say someone wants to learn business. Like we all said, I mean, you can pretty much learn business without going to school for getting a business degree. But one thing I would do if I wanted to go to college and get a business degree is use the resources the school provides to get in with companies for internships during the summer. So if the school has a real good partnership with Microsoft and they say, hey, guys, we have this internship for 2 months in the summer. I know with me being in sports and kind of just wanting to do my own thing, I never took those opportunities. But the smart route would have been, yeah, you know what? Let me do that internship 2 months at Microsoft in California or wherever they're at and learn from them. And then take that actual knowledge to the next semester of school. And then you kind of refine your craft there. Then you go to the next summer, you go right back to Microsoft. So that now when you get out of college, instead of being so much, okay, I'm 50 grand in the hole, but guess what? Now I got a 6-figure job coming out of college because these guys over at Microsoft have seen me for 4 or 5 years and they know my work ethic. They see me grow as I'm actually learning my schoolwork and learning the different skills. So, I mean, that's kind of the route I would go with. If someone were to say, hey, I for sure want to go to college, how can I succeed going to college and learning a skill and all that type of stuff?
All right. So we got skills, and what was it? Just something you can learn basically on YouTube or whatever?
Yeah. So basically like theory. So like for instance, with business, you can go to business and say, hey, you know what, I'm going to get a business management degree. But in all reality, we know managers, you can, kind of understand.
You learn on the job.
On the job, reading books, things in that matter, compared to like somebody going into finance or IT. That's an actual skill you got to learn compared to, just kind of having it already when you're actually coming in. You know what I mean? That's
So I'll say this. For one, get out of your head what you like to do. I'm gonna just keep it a buck. Everybody want to talk about what's your passion? What's your man? Fuck that passion. Because 9 times out of 10, that passion ain't gonna pay bills. And don't get me wrong, you have some situations where you are fortunate enough to be gifted at your passion. But 9 times out of 10, follow what you're gifted at and find a way to monetize that, right? Because that's what you're going to college for, is to make money. Now, the smart thing is to go to college is to build relationships with people, network, and the whole nine, to take advantage of the different things they offer. Get into the internships, which goes back to relationship building. But at the end of the day, I'm gonna just keep it real with you. Forget the passion that you're so passionate about, and don't worry, it's gonna play full circle in a minute. Just bear with me for a second. Forget the passion. Find something, whether it be IT or whatever, that you are good at. You will figure out what you are good at, I promise you, through high school. This is granted, we're in the scenario now of you had the correct upbringing. And even if you didn't, you'll figure out what you're good at within a year of college. I promise you, you'll figure it out. And if you don't, you'll be like me, and you'll figure it out later on the road and start to figure it out then and make money off of it then. Who cares? But since you're listening to this, you're going to figure it out early. You're going to understand that you need X skill, whatever that skill may be. So then when you get to the college level, you're going to eliminate all that noise of going in, I want to do this is my passion. This is what I'm really passionate about. And like I said, you may be gifted at your passion. So, hey, that's just the icing on the cake. So now you go to school. You take what you're gifted at, because that's gonna basically wean you into the skill that you're starting to learn. We'll just say the skill that you're learning is engineering. So now you're good at engineering. You go to school for engineering. You learn that skill. Something can't nobody take away from you. You will always be an engineer. So fast forward down the road, you may full circle this into you've always wanted to be a business owner. Let's say you want to be a business owner. You want to start your own engineering company for whatever, or you want to be a consultant in the engineering space or whatever. You want to start a company based off that. So now you're not only doing what you're passionate about, but you wrapped your gift into that passion, and it's full circle. So not only have you gained a skill, on the back end, you've started a business, but let me tell you something. Business, you'll learn that on your own. You can learn it off YouTube, University, Google, reading books, just like Mark said. So the thing is, you have to be able to decipher between the two. And there may not be people you can talk to figure that out. Trust me, I get it, because I didn't have nobody to talk to. It was kind of like, oh, you're good at math. Oh, do engineering. Oh, okay, I'm going to do engineering. Oh, I don't like this shit at all. It's not for me. So, I mean, again, forget the passion. Forget the outside noise, too. That's one thing you got to understand. Don't start letting people try to persuade you to do something, especially if they ain't done nothing themselves. I hate that. Let's have some social proof here. Don't let nobody try to tell you that you need to be doing this. Like, it's one thing for parents to try to instill things in their kids to understand that, you need to learn X, Y, and Z. It's another thing to just demand, like, this is what you need to do in life. No, that ain't the case. Like, at the end of the day, for one, stop living your fucking dreams through your kids. I hate parents that do that shit. Stop doing it. That's your dream, not theirs. 2, teach them some things. For one, just teach them general things about life. Understanding that when they get out in life, what they're gonna have to deal with. If they're black, that's a whole nother conversation, because you got to navigate life as a black man a whole different way. But whatever. But when we start talking about just a tangible skill that you have that can't be taken away, that just to me goes into the fact of you understand a gift that you have is something that you're just good at. We talk about a gift, it ain't got to be nothing special about you. It's just something you're naturally good at and that you can pick up on and execute. Because at the end of the day, stuff that's learned that you can learn out of reading a fucking book, it's cool and all, but you don't need to go into the hole of debt for that. You go learn a skill, master that skill, get good at it. And I promise you'll find people that'll pour into you later on down the road that'll teach you. And also when you get into college, understand relationships are key. I met Devin in college. Perfect example. One of my best friends, fast forward, I need an internship, Devin. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. He talks to his mom. I get an internship so I can graduate at that. The internship, while it didn't seem like much, pay it forward. Now I have something I've learned because I learned sales. Well, goddamn, I'm pretty decent at this shit. Now I can learn. I'll take it a step further. I learn how to sell myself. That prepares me for the job force, which I ain't no fan of. But hey, we got to eat. We got to pay bills. So now I go into the job force. I'm in an interview. I understand how to sell myself and persuade somebody to want to bring me on and pay me some money for it too, to do something for them. Because hey, that's kind of how some people start. This goes back to not having options. You're different. You'll have options. But all I'm saying is, had that relationship not been made, hell, I might not even got out of fucking school. And then on top of that, I wouldn't have learned. Like I haven't done sales since then. But one thing I realized as I get out, everything is about sales because at the end of the day, you're selling something, whether it's a product, a service, or yourself. You have to sell yourself in life. Because I'll tell you one thing, you don't come to me with no energy and think I'm gonna pour into you and invest into you. Also, don't be afraid to invest in yourself. Hell, college ain't the only way to invest in yourself. You could pay a third of what you'll pay for college into a collection of courses and buy, mentorships and all that stuff, and come out with twice the knowledge, a skill you developed, and be able to do something with that. So don't just think you're trapped when you have to go to college, even if it's and this is not even talking about from a sports perspective, like you want to go play ball or nothing. If you want to go play ball, by all means, go ahead, do that, pursue that. That's fine. Just understand you do have options because a lot of us didn't know that, and it's unfortunate. But especially when you're a black man growing up, black woman too, you just think you only have this one path, and it's beat into your head over and over and over again. But at the end of the day, that might not be for you. So if you don't get nothing from this, just understand there's more out there than this college dream. And also understand, nowadays, hate to break it to you, degrees don't really mean much in most fields. I'll give you a few that matter, maybe engineering, medical, like I said earlier. But for the most part, people don't care about degrees. And most of these companies, the CEOs, are starting to come out and say they don't care about degrees. So you take that with a grain of salt, take it how you will. I'm just saying, pay attention to what's going on around you.
Gotcha. It was a lot of good information that we had here today, and of course, I want to kind of hone back in just kind of with some rapid questions, just so that way we can kind of give some information just with these, some questions, little questions that that I can ask. Hey, anybody that wants to answer this. So just so I can go ahead and start with these rapid questions. So one thing. For somebody who wants to start out, not going to college, but wants an idea on maybe a good book to start off with to go ahead and read. What would be a good idea in y'all's mind to go ahead and choose first as a good read coming out of high school?
A book that changed my damn life. Go read Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's a quick, easy read too. It'll open your mind to a lot of different things that you didn't understand. That book can be apparent to you if you don't have somebody that knows what the hell is going on. I picked it up sophomore year of college, and it taught me a lot. While I was still stupid and went about it a different way, it resonated later on down the road when I got out on my own. It's like, hey, this made a lot of sense. Let me start navigating my life, which is what I'm doing now, a few years later, to this. But it's just something that'll spark something different in you and spark a different way of thinking. Because like I said earlier, if you are habitual in this, you're trained a certain way, you don't understand what you don't know. So that's a good book. Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki.
And see, the crazy thing is that's the exact book I was going to say because I know with me, so coming out of college, I had my little entrepreneurship stuff going, made a pretty big amount of money real quick. And the issue is since I see other people spending money like crazy, that's what I did. So I spent a whole bunch of money that if I had read Rich Dad, Poor Dad in time, I could be making money on that money right now instead of it being just gone. So, I mean, yeah, 100% that's the book I would read.
Okay, good. Now, has there been individuals, billionaires, millionaires, maybe somebody local that y'all have known for years that pretty much helped you shift your mind to make the proper decision on what route you want to go to now?
I mean, for me, so there was actually a guy I worked for. His name was Frank. So Frank was actually the first millionaire that I ever met. like an actual true millionaire, $1 million in the bank plus. And what really shifted my mind when I met him is how normal he was living his life. So what I see always coming up is just you see like people with big money, you're spending big. You got jewelry, you got cars, big house, you're on the coast somewhere, you're always on vacation. You're always trying to spend your money, it seemed like. It was like a race to spend. So seeing someone that was using his money as almost like a tool, not so much as just spending it like crazy, but using it as a tool to make more money and to make more partnerships and more relationships and kind of building it up that way. I mean, that guy plus that book actually kind of changed my way of thinking on saving and everything else.
An influential human being.
You can say me, it's fine.
I'm trying to think, man. Dang. More so, I've come across a lot of people. All these people I see on YouTube. One in particular, this is recent too. Mark Monroe. He's an options trader. I know options to a decent extent now because of him. I've never met this man a day in my life, and I don't believe that you have to meet somebody to have them as your mentor, because to me that's just stupid. But that man's way of thinking, coupled with the fact that he just wants to give back off the strength of just doing better for his people, that sparked something different in me. This is kind of why, I've always been a person, I'm an asshole. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But one thing I always like to see is other people win. I will give out whatever information I know. And it's good to see other people in that space that do, just in any space that do that want to just give back. And I ain't got no problem with people charging for what they know, because at the end of the day, time is valuable. But my thing that I'm real big on is just kind of bringing everybody up with you, because at the end of the day, one thing I like about him, he's just trying to help everybody else out. And one thing I'll say is, what good is it if I'm making it, I go be a millionaire, but the people around me that I fuck with, they ain't got nothing. So for me, that's big on me, because I get to see somebody out here that's just pouring back into the community. He's big on just uplifting the black community and stuff like that, but he helps anybody. Like I say, I do what I do at this point in time. I have my Work for the Culture platform. And honestly, I don't know where it came from or where it sparked from, but essentially I did it for black people. But at the end of the day, I just want whoever out there, man, that I can impact to make it. So it's just good to see, like, when I came across this platform and the come upstairs and all that, that was big for me. And that was just recently, like last year. So that Robert Kiyosaki, even if you want to say your parents' stuff, you see them kind of just what they're doing. It might be that they're living a certain way that you just don't want to go through, or have your kids go through, that inspire you to do something different. So I don't couple it as just one person. It's a collective of individuals I've seen throughout my life. I can't really put a person on that. It's just a collective. So, and it's not even what they do or how they got what they got or them being a millionaire or nothing like that. It's just kind of, you see a certain lifestyle that you want to attain, and you understand that you see the mindsets. And even if it's a mindset that negatively is negatively impactful, you understand and you learn how not to do things. So it's a collective for me. I may not help nobody, I'm sorry, but that's just my weird way of thinking. So.
Gotcha. Now, last question I have. How big is it to you all when it comes to the people that you actually have around you? So your circle of guys you talk to, ladies or men. How huge is it just in regards of development, just to try to be able to build yourself and your product to be able to do what you want to do in life, making the proper decisions to your bigger goal that you have for yourself? How big is that within y'all's day to day?
You go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm gonna say it's huge. I just know. So you guys here, you're part of my inner circle for sure, and all these conversations that we have, just texting back and forth about different things, whether it be real estate, stocks, whatever it may be, it definitely kind of pushes it. When I see my Ollie posting stuff, Wealth of the Culture, showing different stock options, now I found myself researching different things. So if he had never posted that, I would have never researched it. I'd have just kept going on with my life, kept moving. When I see people talking about real estate, different deals, now I'm looking at real estate deals that without that kind of push, I never would have. Because I know I had been in other groups before where the energy was negative. I mean, it just seemed like energy was lacking. And I found like in a course of a year, nothing happened. I mean, we're just still sitting there in the same spot saying, what if, man, if this had happened, we would do this, this, and this. So, I mean, personally, I think the energy is huge on the main group that you're with as far as moving everything forward.
So for me, I'll say it like this. Who I have in my circle is very important. I don't carry too much dead weight. I believe this, though. Do not be the smartest person in your circle. You have to have somebody that's going to challenge your way of thinking. You have to have somebody that's going to push you to think outside the box. To me, it's just necessary. You have to have somebody that's better. You can't be the best because you can't always be pouring out into somebody and not get nothing else poured back into you because then you get boxed in. So I would just say, I have numerous small circles. And I'll say this even, don't knock somebody that you never met if y'all in a circle and y'all communicate on daily. Let me tell you something. While I do have my core circle of friends that I talk to every day and stuff, I have a community online that I've learned a shitload from. So, and also one thing that people need to get out their head, stop thinking that the elder community are really big on this. Like, they think they're always right about certain things. Stop thinking that you can't learn from everybody. That's one thing I learned very young. Like, I can learn something from anybody. I don't care if it's because people love to put titles. I don't care if it's a janitor at the job or the CEO at the job. You can learn something from everybody. I've learned more from people that quote unquote I'm above in the workforce cycle than I have the people who are above me. So I just say, don't look at somebody and just look down on them and think, oh, it's nothing they can instill in you. It's nothing that they can teach you. It's nothing they can put you on game about. Because a lot of times they live a lot more life than you, and you don't know why they're in the situation they're in now. You don't know how they got to that point. So I'm going to just say, understand that at all times, you don't know everything, right? People understand we're all ignorant because we're not genius. We don't know every single thing there is in life and every single thing there is out in this world. So you got to understand that at some point in time, it's going to be somebody that you can learn from, and you don't know what that person like. We know that, but we don't know what that looks like or what that's going to come in the embodiment as. It could come in embodiment hell as a damn high school. I know little kids that's in middle school out here doing options trading that's millionaires already. I know kids. I've seen kids out here that done retired their moms. So I mean. Let me tell you something. Are you telling me that they can't put me on game about some stuff? No, I'd be crazy to think that. So my thing is, don't ever think that you're above somebody or that you know more than somebody, because what you might know more than them in, they know more than you or something else that could be beneficial to you. So just understand, don't be the smartest person in your circle, because it's just a hindrance to your development. And two, just understand you can learn something from everybody. So just keep that in mind when y'all are forming these circles, and understand it's okay to cut people off. I know you don't want to cut off your friend that you've been rocking with for 10, 15 years since kindergarten. But guess what? If y'all not on the same path, if y'all ain't on the same journey, it's all right to cut people off. Some people are just in your life, to teach you like a lesson. And some people are there to be with you through the whole journey. So you just got to understand, and I mean, that come with time. Like, ain't nothing wrong wasn't built in no day. So you got to understand, you got to take time with that and understand it's okay cutting people off. And it's okay if you cut somebody off and later on y'all paths cross again and y'all in the same alignment now. So I just want to say that to everybody, like, if you don't get nothing else from me in this, forget the college and all that. Don't be the smartest person in your circle. You can learn from anybody, and it's okay to cut people off. Because at the end of the day, don't nobody care about you as much as you go care about you. And that's what you got to understand.
Hey, today I definitely dropped a lot of gems with a lot of information. Of course, college, if you want to go to college, make the proper decisions if you're really going to go that route, but, there is a lot of options outside of college from what we learned today, and that's going to be a very huge, and I hope this reaches out to the right people that just may be in that in between on what they really want to do and not really understanding, the next steps in life. So, this is definitely going to be a good, good informal, information for a lot of people. And, we that's what we really want to push in this podcast, to understand the hustle, because at the end of the day, it's all about trying to learn from those who went through the process. And, we've went through the process. And I'm pretty sure there's many more who went through different processes that we can definitely learn from. And of course, main thing here with this podcast is, it's push more and more information, because at the end of the day, information is key in this life. And that's how we're going to continue to keep this moving forward. So, we had Ollie Brady, had Devin Shaw, and myself, Mark Shabir here pushing this show, and then definitely stay tuned, because, more information is going to be able to come, definitely in the future. So,
and one more thing.
Go ahead.
If we drop some knowledge on y'all, show some love. It's okay to hit that like button. It's okay to subscribe to the show. It's okay to even leave a comment. It helped with the algorithm. I promise you. Trust me, I got another podcast. I know. So, hey, if I drop one gem, if Devin drop one gem, if Mark drop one little gem on you that helped you or changed your way of thinking for the better, leave a comment. Give us a rating. And if you don't like what we did, tell us. That's okay too. I'm cool with that. I'm always looking to wait. Hey, you got to get better. And what better way to get better than by somebody telling you what they didn't like? So if you didn't like it, cool. If you did, hey, if you like it, I love it. So appreciate y'all for tuning in and listening to us rant and give y'all some knowledge.